Today we're going to be forming Romania and then the Danubian state as Wallachia. Interestingly, the Danubian state is one of only two formations in the game which requires a law enactment, the other one being the Free States of America, which requires slavery banned. So to start out on Romania, we're going to start out by going for stock exchange, then railways, then nationalism, which will give us a personal union over Moldavia. Now we're going to do a pretty typical Wallachia start where we request support independence from Russia, then we request support regime from the Ottomans and market control. This then give us enough liberty desire to declare independence. However, we're also going to offer support independence to the Ottomans' other subjects, so that they will also join us in our independence war. Then force the diplomatic play, and this is our war against the Ottomans. The main reason we want these other guys on our side is it gives us extra primary demands, which makes the Ottomans less likely to back down. Moldavia, we need them to be independent in order to subjugate them through the Unite the Principalities thing with nationalism, but that's the reason we're doing it for Serbia at least. Now I'm going to put an interest in the Balkans because we want to try to conquer some states there from the Ottomans. We're also going to try to take some Ottoman war reparations, and of course, we will conquer Dobruja, which is the only state within our interest that we do not have already. Moldavia wishes for an alliance, but we want one with Russia, so we don't want to accept that since you can only have one alliance at a time. Now I'm going to begin improving relations with the UK and potentially some other great powers. Let's rival some South Germans to get influence to improve with other great powers. You really want to give other great powers um, embassies, because if we give them embassies, it'll be less likely for Russia to be able to invite us to their power block, which is a crucial step to not get invited, because Russia's block has defensive cooperation 1, and we eventually want to take Bessarabia from the Russians. So if we have that principle of defensive cooperation, it's going to be very hard to take that state, because you can't declare war on them. Now we're going to add in as an extra war goal, conquer Bulgaria, because that's a pretty nice state. I think there's nothing else very much worth taking, so we'll leave it at that. Definitely didn't forget to construct in this state for the first little bit of the game. This isn't really going to be a big problem though, because we're going to hit the infrastructure cap before we research railways anyway. France is offering to provide military assistance. We will take it. That's pretty nice. How close are we to being able to get an embassy with these guys? Ideological similarities, if we invert that modifier, we'd have enough. Can we invert that modifier? I wonder. Nope, we just put in the PB as our government. They've got PB plus trade unions, and it's not enough. So it looks like there's no way for us to get enough to get a power block embassy to Britain right now. We'd very much like, because we don't want to get invited to the Russian bloc. We might be forced to, though. If we do get invaded, it's not the end of the world. We can always take over the power block from the inside, or if we get low enough leverage, we can still peacefully leave, though you can't militarily leave with this principle, which I think is a bug. The reason I think that's a bug is, for example, they have an exception for independence wars, so I don't see why leaving the power block shouldn't work like an independence war. Okay, we can now send this great peace offer to the Ottomans, and we get Bulgaria and Dobruja, which we can now incorporate as states in our country. Well, it looks like we're screwed and we're going to be forced into the Russian power block because we're about to go over 200 leverage on them, or they're about to go over 200 leverage on us. Now that we are at a plus 7.85 thousand positive balance, no, we shouldn't build there. That's very much minus construction efficiency. Let's just build, I guess, in Wallachia, even though infra is going to be a bit of a problem. 3 construction sectors, which I think should use up all of our money. Russia asks for a defensive pact. I think we will not accept that. We just don't want them to get more leverage on us to make them more likely to invite us. Well, they invite us anyway. Nothing we can do. We will eventually be able to leave though. We just need to get under 30 leverage advantage, or we can try to take over the block from the inside. We do need these 2 states in order to get the Despotua Romania achievement or something like that. Looks like I didn't pronounce it right, but this is the achievement I was referring to. Well, now that we're in the Russian bloc, we might as well sign a defensive pact. We also would very much like a trade agreement so that we can stop having huge shortages. So let's get a trade agreement real quick. How close are we to an alliance? We're 25 acceptance away. Oh yeah, we're going to do a little bit of decrees. I think encourage manufacturing will be most effective, but we'll just do a little bit of decreeing in our states, which should help out a little bit. I think if we export grain to everyone, we should barely get just under or just over 25% price in order to trigger corn laws. Yes, we do. Let's see. Yep, we trigger corn laws. Now we can cancel all of our grain trade routes. This is a bit unfortunate. Russia has allied Moldavia. I assume they got a lobby opportunity or something. This is pretty unfortunate for us. But I think that it will be fine, because once we personal union Moldavia, that should cancel the alliance, letting us ally Russia. I think that means we want to rush nationalism much more, though, so we're gonna go straight for nationalism after stock exchange. We've got a little bit too much construction goods. Yeah, deleting one construction sector fixes our budget much more. I'm starting to improve relations with all the other great powers because I just remembered for the Unite the Principalities journal entry, I'm pretty sure you need positive relations with every great power with with an interest in the region. We get on modern conservative, so now we're going to start bolstering the liberal movement, as you always do when you get a modern conservative. We got pretty good popularity from Firebrand, so this is going to move towards 13% support. Hopefully that's enough to pressure the landowners. Make it more likely that it will, we're going to start suppressing the absolutist movement. Maybe we should also suppress the pro-slavery movement. Yeah, I've canceled even more decrees to try to suppress this. Oh no, the Orthodox traditionalist movement? No, that's less landowner pressure, so this movement's going to be more important. Trying to up the landowners' support for this. The evil Serbs are trying to improve relations with us. This is unacceptable. How dare they do this? Now I can't conquer them. I think the smartest play here might actually be to expel Serbia's diplomats just so that we can actually conquer them once we run out of infamy. Greece would support Serbia even better. We can conquer Greece with the Russians on our side. That's going to be nice. Austria and Egypt versus Ottomans and UK. This is going to cause a lot of Austrian casualties. This might be a perfect time to try to invade Austria. Let's try to take advantage of the situation by declaring a Liberate Hungary war goal against the against the Austrians. The reason we want to liberate Hungary is it contains all of our Romanian states and it's stuff that we eventually will need in order to form Danubia. And it'll be much easier to take states from Hungary than Austria, because you know it's going to have way less military if it's split in two. Mobilizing my very small army. We're going to be able to call in the Russians pretty soon here. Try to help us out. Let's see, they will accept a war goal of liberate Krakow. That's actually an incredibly good offer. What other things would you like? Transfer state, become subject. You know, become subject is a decent option, but I think we're going to go with liberate Krakow. Now, as an additional war goal, I'm going to go for conquer Austrian Moldavia, which will give us the remainder of that split state we need there, although it will be disconnected temporarily. Unfortunately, the landowners are not being pressured by the liberal movement. Looks like we're having some pretty good battles on the front, so we should be able to push into Austria, assuming that they stay in this other war. The front is all won now, which is kind of nice. We were losing one battle there in East Galicia. Looks like a new battle has begun there. The Austrians have seemingly like no troops on our front. How's their army power projection doing in total? Are they going to be able to come back somehow? No, they're not going to be able to come back even once they're out of the war against the Ottomans even. We've encircled these two provinces, and there goes the Austrian capital. Okay, let's put in all of our war goals. They're 40 acceptance away from accepting. Okay, we'll send the peace deal. Now we have this little isolated bit for now, but pretty soon we'll get our personal union over Moldavia, so it'll be fine. Now with Austrian war reparations, we have so much money, we can build even more construction sectors. Oh, the movement is over 10% pressure on the landowners, so we just need to get them out of three other movements, I assume. Let's see, what three movements are they currently being pressured by? Pro-slavery, orthodox traditionalist, and absolutist. The pro-slavery movement, they're only at 9% pressure, so surely they should leave this. And they're not, though. I think it'll be more beneficial if we start suppressing the Orthodox Traditionalist movement with the hope of getting this to like 8% pressure or something to make these guys leave this one. Because the other one, they were at 9% without us suppressing, or they were at 9% with us suppressing, and they were 9% without us, so hopefully with us suppressing, it'll go down further. Okay, the laners are now being pressured by the liberal movement. Let's go check out which one did they actually leave. Looks like they left the pro-slavery movement. Grant him leadership. And then we can now start going for tenant farmers or homesteading. We're going to go for homesteading. I'm beginning damaging relations with Hungary because we want to be able to Declare to conquer Banat, Becas, and liberate Transylvania. Transylvania doesn't get all of Transylvania, it just gets these two states of it. Okay, we overbuilt construction again. Let's go down to this level or something. No, that's still too much. Looks like we can only afford 3 sectors. Okay, we just passed homesteading. We're gonna go for laissez-faire now. We're out of infamy, so it's time to conquer northern Serbia from Serbia. Might get Russia involved in this war if Greece also joins. We can just mobilize our conscripts though in order to beat Serbia, I assume. Looks like Greece is not joining, although what it said. And we also are not really able to defend very well, so we're going to put in enlistment efforts in Wallachia. Or that state already has max conscripts, it doesn't it? Hmm. Well, we need to hope that we can somehow defend. Looks like we do. Okay. Well, with that one starting victory, that's going to be pretty good. It looks like they're trying to attack us again, but that's going to not go very well for them. Now the front is plus 44 for us, so we're going to set our general on advance, and we're going to hire a couple more generals to try to push even faster. We're getting so lucky at the passing of laissez-faire here. I think that we're getting pretty close to the end of the battles for northern Serbia. Oh, it's only 50% occupied. Okay, well, still somewhat close. That's not very lucky for laissez-faire, but it's already at the second, or the last tick, so we should be fine on passing it anyway. Now we own northern Serbia. Oh, we also got nationalism. We do have too little relations with Austria, though. Why are all of our interest groups so happy? Is there some ginormous political lobby we're appeasing? Looks like there's a pretty big political lobby. But this is just an insane amount of high interest group approval that I've like never seen before without being in the super late game. Oh, if we put the church in government, we can get to righteous, which will mean we can pass this law even faster. We have a pretty significant problem, which is that the Austrians are damaging relations with us, which makes it a little bit difficult to press for the Union. We get a Turkish uprising, which is, not the greatest of things to happen, but we'll be able to crush it pretty easily. It's just got Bulgaria and Dobruja. We've still got Wallachia, which is a better state. We've just passed laissez-faire. By the way, I realize we're at zero infamy. We're kind of in an uprising right now, so I can't really deal with that yet. Okay, the uprising just capitulated. I'm thinking that the only way for us to use this button is going to be to liberate enough stuff from Austria that they drop out of GP. Okay, after a bit of thinking, I think I've decided on a war. We're going to try to conquer Croatia state, then we're going to lib Bohemia, and we're going to try to call in Russia, of course, because we are nothing without Russia. And the war goal we're going to give Russia is conquer West or East Galicia. Then, before they join, we need to add in as a war goal, you can just take war reps, but that's not going to be enough to reduce them to a low enough power rank, is it? Maybe it will be. Bohemia is quite a bit. Also, I remember checking, and we need to take over their position as the #1 leading arts producer, because that's giving them 60 prestige. If we can just take over them, that'll give us quite a big jump. They're just producing slightly over 4 arts, so it shouldn't be that hard to pass them. I spent quite a long time trying to decide if we should become a Austrian protectorate by just backing down to this war. I ultimately decided against it, but it's a pretty reasonable idea, I think. Oh, the Egyptians are in this war, and the Austrians are fighting the Ottomans again? Well, they're not going to fight them for very long, because we've just split the front away from them pretty much. Until Dalmatia gets taken, they still can fight, but it doesn't seem like a very smart idea when you're getting occupied, Austria. Speaking of getting occupied, Austria is nearly 100% occupied already. Looks like Austria took their interest out of this because we're now able to use the Unite the Principalities journal entry, our Declaration of Union. Moldavia is now a personal union, so we now have the All for One journal entry. Take the South Bessarabia retrocession, gives us a little bit of land from the Russians. Now we're going to form an alliance with Russia. They offer to provide us military assistance, we will take it. We can now peace out with this war. Now we're going to utilize our newly made Russian alliance to conquer Banat, Bekes, and liberate Transylvania from Hungary. We're also going to have to try to primary one of those after we call the Russians in order to ensure no Hungarian back down. So let's go ahead and call ally on Russia, then primary liberate Transylvania. This war should be really easy, I think. Maybe they'll even back down. Oh, they back down. Okay. Let's make Definitely not the second time this has happened and the first time Transylvania PU'd me. This time, let's PU Transylvania, and then form Romania, a glorious union. We get a claim on Becas. We're gonna start improving relations with Hungary because we want to try to get them as a subject. Let's pass free trade. It's a great law. It'll also give us 10% loyalism. The Ionian Islands have a treaty port on the Ottomans. I guess that's technically against the Egyptians, which are in the Ottoman market. We now have free trade, so that's going to jump up our loyalism a bunch. Let's try to ban slavery. Slavery is not very pog. Wow, the landowners are so happy from everything else that they're plus 20 approval, even while we're enacting a law that they hate by minus 20. Are you serious? That's incredible. I think this is the first time I've ever seen this. All of a sudden the landowners hate me. The market liberal died. Yep. Okay. Unfortunate. I should really stop wasting all my authority on these. That's not really that smart. Can we pass this law with the intelligentsia and government, even though it's still illegitimate, because our king likes the law? No, it looks like it still pauses it. That's unfortunate. I thought it wouldn't pause maybe because the king supports it, but it looks like only political movements do that. We just rolled another success. Maybe we get slavery banned through. That's nice. Don't want to fail it for sure. Looks like we got one setback at some point. Just got railways. Now we're gonna go water tube boiler into mechanized workshop. Let's also build a railway in Wallachia. We need them. Well, but yeah, what legislative failures? That's pretty bad. Hopefully we can pass this. You got a 3% advance chance. Come on. After promoting an intelligentsia general, this gives 15 legitimacy. Then we lower taxes, and we should be at 25. No, 24. Can we find another intelligentsia general to promote so that we can get this legitimate? Please? One more intelligentsia general, that's all I ask. Okay, looking in the Navy, there was one. Promote him. Now we finally unstopped this law from passing, and it's now got a 31% success chance, which is much better. Okay, we just got slavery successfully banned. I think we might want to go for religious schools next, because going for this would require banning getting off of state religion, which seems not very possible. I think we'll just go religious schools. I'm granting sorts of things to France in hopes of getting their leverage on us up to make Russia have less leverage so that we can eventually try to leave the bloc. But for now, let's just conquer the last state we need from the Ottomans in order to form, which is Bosnia. Mobilize our battalions, put them on the front. And what war goal do you want, Russia? Humiliate the Ottoman Empire? I think we'll just call ally. Oh, the British joined against us. That's unfortunate. I think we still win though, right? Yeah, because the British aren't going to realistically send too much over to this war. Oh, we're now a great power. That's interesting. Classic Prussia moment where they intervene in the Baltic Civil War. That's so annoying. We're losing a lot of money. We really need to get off of land-based tax. It's making us... Oh, we also should be on a real tax level. That would help out. We're getting destroyed in the war. We really need the Ottomans to capitulate very soon, because if they make it to Bosnia, we kind of just lose, because the Russians are super focused on their other war happening against Prussia, because Prussia had to intervene in this civil war for some reason. Luckily, it looks like the majority of their pushing is happening in the Caucasus right now, instead of in the important front. But right now, the British are unwilling to accept peace, so can't really peace out yet. If only the British weren't in the war, we could send this peace right now. Or if they had just joined for something that wasn't a war goal. Landowners left the Romanian-Russian society. Alright. Things are looking really bad. We really need the Ottomans to cap before us, but the odds of that happening are not looking super duper high right now. They're not actually that far off in terms of capitulation desire from capping, but we have some other problems right now. Like, we're capping at a speed of 10, and they're not capping at a speed of 10. They're not capping anywhere near a speed of 10. Okay, we're capping at 11. Looks like they still think that they're gonna cap first, though. I don't know if that's correct, but I guess we'll trust them and hope that we, uh, don't cap first. Hopefully. Well, looks like the AI was right, and we are not going to cap first, but that was very close. It looks like the Russians have just arrived on the front. Well, right as the war is basically over. Um, Karuna doesn't want to peace out. What is this nonsense? Okay, the war is over. Okay, we're gonna start going for pan-nationalism because we need that tech in order to form the Danubian state, and I think we're getting pretty close to the point where we want to try to do that. We shall protectorate the Hungarians. We need some free Hungary. It's a great country. It's got half of the remaining states we need in order to form the Danubian state. Apparently the Ottomans sided with them and then left. Okay, well we're gonna call ally on the Russians, because that'll be nice. Like France joins against us, we don't like that. Could return state Beckus. I don't think that's worth it though. We want to keep our relations with Hungary high so that we can improve relations with them as fast as possible. We of course just have a huge advantage, except that we're losing some of the battles, but that's not relevant. You know, I'm sure we got this. 71 advantage is pretty good, because I don't think the French are allowed to arrive on this front. So yeah, we should just be able to win. Then it'll just be a matter of holding off French naval invasions until they agree to a white peace. Okay, they're trying to naval invade us in Dobruja. The Hungarians just lost the war. I'll start improving relations with them. So it's going to be pretty hard to keep them loyal, I assume, especially while they've got such high negative relations with us. Looks like we're successfully holding out the landing, although we did get super lucky with the battle rolls here, so maybe in a worse roll we would have lost. I'm going to reduce subject payments to Hungary because we want to try to keep their liberty desire as low as possible. Wait, what? How would granting you your own market reduce liberty desire? What's going on there? Well, it's no longer happening, I assume, because economic dependence. Oh, now it's back above or below 1, so it would reduce liberty desire. Well, I don't think it's worth doing because it would give them basically zero economic dependence, but that's a little bit strange. Looks like the French are going to land, but they're going to be willing to accept a white peace before they make it to Croatia. Or I guess more realistically before they make it to Wallachia, because they're not making it there. They're going to make it to a capital realistically from there. Oh, they lose another battle, so they're not even going to land before they'll accept a white peace. Propose it now, and they accept. Okay, we're gonna swap over to this government, and then we can enact prop tax or per capita. I think we'll go for prop because it's better tax law, although it does make us less money. Got proportional taxation. We're now making even more money, so we can build even more construction sectors. Also just got past negative 50 with Hungary, so we're gaining liberty desire a little bit slower, although it's still way too high. Oh, right, relative prestige is giving them so much right now. Egypt is getting their independence with the help of Austria. I just realized we're also going to need the human rights tech. I'm going to stop over to researching that for now. We're going to try to keep our research equal between these two, maybe with a slight emphasis on human rights, because we need multiculturalism and then pan-nationalism, not pan-nationalism, then human rights, then multiculturalism afterwards. That doesn't make sense. But this is still a little bit more slow than I was hoping because of that then. Also, we might need to conquer some Chinese provinces in order to get enough support for multiculturalism. Also, we might need to conquer some Chinese provinces to get enough support for multiculturalism. So I deleted the recordings of this war, thinking I was going to go back in time and refight the war, but it turns out I don't have a save from before the war. So I'm just going to do a quick little recap of what happened. It wasn't really that interesting. We called Russia in. Austria called in Sardinia, Piedmont, and two Sicilies. The war was a complete disaster. These are the war goals we have. It's very close to us losing. We have a big advantage, but we just can't push. So we're going to try to go back on the defense. We've also turned on a bunch of mobilization options. Yeah, we're going to go back on the defense and deallocate a bunch of our troops from the front. Try and get them to push us, weaken their armies. Or they'll just magically succeed in pushing us. What? No, that's not acceptable. Okay, well, we're winning the majority of the battles, so that's good. We're at the point of them having, like, not that much manpower total. They only have 25,000 total manpower. Surely we can push. Come on. There's literally no universe where we can't push when they have 25,000 manpower. 66 advantage, and they're in a battle already. Yes, we get a one good battle at least. Can we get infinite good battles? Oh, sorry, are we winning this battle? Yes, we are. We keep getting good battles, though. That is the key. 80 advantage looks like we're going to be able to do it. This war took quite a while, but now that we've rethought it, done on the defense again, looks like we should be able to win. Okay, we've reoccupied Croatia. Nice. Um, now the front is split in two. Let's set all you guys that are up here on the north to attack. You can rapid advance. You can have a general. We keep trying to ship over more troops back and forth. We're mostly winning, which is good, but sometimes we're still losing, which is bad. Like, how in the world are we losing this battle? What? We have, like, triple their troop count. How are we losing? Panic retreat moment. Double battle here in Slovenia. Nice. Are we winning the double battle? Yes, we are. Let's raise taxes. Money is really not doing very well. You know, we could try to make the armed forces happy to give us some more modifiers to our army. That would probably be smart. Dedicated police force, that'll make them happy enough. Seems like we're unable to make much more progress. I'm gonna disband these armies, put the navy back here, and just try to beat their navy. Let's see how that goes. I'm gonna put everything on here on defense, and then we're gonna just try to put some troops off of the front to get them to hopefully try to push us. Looks like our navy managed to defeat their navy, so let's now try to utilize that to grab the 9 stack and naval invade into Venice. Some would say we could click these events, and they would be right. They were landed in Venice. Looks like they've got a sufficient number of soldiers to stop us, though. A 5v22, but they've got like very low manpower. Hmm. Well, we're gonna land in Istria next, and then we'll just need to get into Crane and land Dalmatia. Apparently we had one of our armies on offense, and since we were on a defensive battle, we're winning hugely now. So I'll take it. Or actually, I think that was the Dalmatia army moving over here. Looks like we've got a huge advantage now, and we can just steamroll hopefully. Come on, we just need to get into Crane, and then we're all good. Well, we're making solid progress, but I think the only way to push at a real speed here is going to be to go defense, and then take away one of our big armies from the front. Was that the take away the 6 stack as well, and then we should be under 20, which is usually the threshold where they start pushing you. Okay, let's put our troops back on the front. They had one offensive battle, and I think it's pretty much destroyed their army. So let's just try and attack. We'll see how it goes. The front isn't actually that different in terms of number, but I believe in the plays. All the advances at once. That'll work. We're making good progress. A couple more battles into Slovenia, and we should be good. That's all we need. Also, I guess occupying Styria is an option, and it looks like maybe that'll happen first, which would be weird. The Russians are willing to give us a bunch of states to join them in this play, but not the one we want. That's unfortunate. He'll give us even the Russian-American company. That's crazy. We can even get an obligation. Um, Maybe we take an obligation. I wonder if they'll give it to us for an obligation. That would be really funny, but I doubt it. Anyway. Let's propose our peace deal, and the war is finally over. Let's demobilize, because we don't actually care about this France war. Demob, 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 stuff like that, and our economy should be finally not dead. I'm gonna try to protectorate Bohemia. It's one of the countries we need in order to form, what's it called? In order to form our country. So we'll just enforce military access on Hungary in order to get them into this war. We'll call ally on Russia into our war. Saxony, oh, Austria joined the war too. Russia will join us for unification leadership. Okay, that makes things simpler. Oh, it looks like Bohemia just backed down after we offered Prussia unification leadership. We'll take it. Our market is looking pretty solid. In terms of market borders, I mean, because this is just a way of showing our subjects since we can't show it this map mode because Russia is in our or Russia has our block. No, whatever. We are in Russia's block would be the correct thing to say. Bohemia's GDP is rising quite a lot now that they're in our market. Or did that start just before it? I actually don't know, because it would be very surprising if it just randomly started jumping up. Hungary, you're growing your GDP too much. Stop it. I'm gonna conquer Fujian and and Jiangxi because I want to have a big enough movement to be able to pass multiculturalism, and these are very high pop states. They should be big enough, hopefully, make us able to get the movement to work. Also, we're trying to do this. Oh, we didn't do it right before Russia pieced out, unfortunately. That was the hope, because then their army would stay conscripts mobilized, but it's still strong enough to defeat the Chinese army, I believe. Well, nobody arrived to the front before China could start pushing, but what we're going to do, start a naval invasion on Shengjing, then we'll potentially move it into Beijing last second to occupy the capital. Looks like China has a giant anti-Russian lobby, keeping their war support stuck at 100. The front is very in Russia's favor now that troops have actually arrived on it. That's good. Russia just took this from China while the war was going on? Wait, what? China's trying to naval invade me? What? Looks like we're going to be landing into Shengjing in a second here, except their navy actually arrives, so now I have to defeat that. But looks like we do succeed in defeating their navy. We're now in Shengjing. Let's put all these guys on advance until the Chinese assign enough to the front to stop us. Let's also strategic objective Beijing, because that's of course the important piece of territory to try to take. Looks like our troops are much stronger than whatever troops they've assigned, so we're still able to push, which is good. That's not a good battle. Let's just go defense. Let's also raise the conscripts for you. Okay, we're just trying to maneuver the troops to be near Beijing. Now we're going to go for a naval invasion on it. As soon as our morale actually recovers, that is. Morale, please recover quicker. We need to get this fast. No, we don't recover morale fast enough. And they teleport some troops home. That is unfortunate. However, as soon as we stopped the naval invasion, they stopped having those troops there, so maybe we can land now. See, our navy has to come back though. Oh, but maybe we actually do land, except they're creating a new army. Oh, but it's not staying. Okay, we land. Good. And we should be able to extend our peace offer to the Chinese now. And we should now get a giant Han national movement up here in our country. Let's take a look. Don't quite see it yet, but I assume it'll appear up at some point. Oh, there's no port in Fujian, so all these tiles are incredibly isolated. So let's build a port in order to make these tiles not super isolated. Right now the GDP here is incredibly inflated because it's using our market price of grain, which is really high. Oh, these are actually bad states to take because they're not actually like majority Han as much. Well, Jiangxi is still majority Han, but it's not 100% Han. I should have taken states that were more Han. Looks like the Han national movement has appeared though. Let's see if we can find it. Yeah, it's at 5% support, trending towards 19. Ulster trends towards 21. I'm going to spam build some universities in our capital because we want to get more innovation to get PanNat faster, I think. Although maybe we'll be locked out by time to reduce autonomy on these guys anyway. Now that our infamy is below 25, Hungary is now reducing in liberty desire finally. That's nice. This one is also going down in liberty desire too. Looks like the leader of the PB is giving them lots of bonuses to political strength, so I think we can exile them and hopefully that will reduce their political strength, which will help us pass multiculturalism in a second here. Just 6 weeks till we get human rights. Wait, interest groups can support national movement revolutions? I did not know that was a thing. Anyway, we're going to start enacting multiculturalism. First tick on multiculturalism was a success. That's nice. Seems like the hardest part is going to be trying to figure out a way to take Bessarabia from the Russians. I've never actually seen a supremacist movement get strong enough that it starts a civil war. Well, it's not going to start a civil war, but it's revolutionary. Oh, our good king has died and has been replaced with someone cruel, which gives -1 SOL. That's really bad. That's probably given us a little bit of radicalism. Look here, we've got, is that enough for, that must be due to conquest radicals, I guess. Even wallachia, is that a turmoil radicals? No? Why does it look so similar red? Wow, all these states have a lot of radicals. Yeah, let's go down a tax level, I think we need to, in order to avoid too many radicals. Looks like we've got a ton. There's an uprising in Austria's capital? That's crazy. We just got pan-nationalism, so now we just need to reduce autonomy, these two guys, conquer Slovenia, and take over Bessarabia. So I think it's time to end the alliance with Russia, because we need to declare on Bessarabia pretty soon here. Begin damaging relations as well. End trade agreement. Now we're down to cordial relations. And I assume our leverage that they have on us is going to be dropping pretty substantially now that that's happened. What do you mean 0 weekly leverage? We have so much less leverage on us. That's a scam. We'll halt military assistance as well. Trying to get everything we can to make them stop having more leverage on us. Looks like they're finally dropping leverage. Yes. Just flickered gov wages to become a great power again. That should give us more leverage resistance. Multiculturalism has been enacted. If we look, no more requirements are needed here except for the states. Although we can't form this before we take Bessarabia because you wouldn't get the Awaken the Romania achievement if you did that. Although we already have it, this video is also an achievement thing for that. How do they still have 54 leverage advantage over me? This makes no sense. Let's declare a rivalry. I think, yeah, negative 90% should surely be enough. Unless, is it the other way around? Does it make me have 90% less leverage on them? It does, bruh. That's annoying. Okay, well, I guess we expel diplomats on Russia in order to reduce their leverage generation, because I'm pretty sure that does that. Take a look now. Now we're losing leverage for real. It's crazy we had to do all that. I'm gonna take off the promote social mobility decrees I've been using the whole game to have infinite literacy and replace them with some consumption taxes to give us some money without making everyone below minimum expected SOL. Because yeah, that would be bad to have everyone below minimum expected. How in the world? I expelled diplomats. What do you mean you're still getting leverage over me? How? What if I embargo you? What? Like, how in the world are you not low enough leverage yet? What are you doing? What kind of shenanigans? Okay, finally. Can leave the Russian bloc finally. Okay, we're gonna demand return Bessarabia from Russia, and I think this is an incorporated state, so we might as well take war reps. Yep. We can sway Hungary to our side if we transfer a state. I don't think we want to do that though. Hungarian AI might throw the game for us. We're gonna mobilize a bunch of conscripts. And you know, since this is a death war, we're actually going to just delete these consumption taxes, because this is going to be the final war, and just replace them with infinite enlistment efforts to solve all problems we could possibly have with lack of manpower by having infinite soldiers, you know? Just infinite soldiers equals infinite wins. By the way, the reason I'm not control clicking these is because it just glitches out and you can't do it, because it's dumb. I don't know why it does this, but it does. Anyways, move the troops to the front. Raise more conscripts, move them to the front, disband a million armies because there's way too many of them here. Don't need this many. Also bring our navy back from the Yellow Sea so that it can do a naval invasion on Bessarabia. Okay, the front is minus 15 for us, but I think that's good enough that... Oh, what do you mean we're pushing? Oh, oops. You should not be pushing. I did not mean to do that. This offensive battle is really going to kill us. That's a lot of people we're losing. I think we still have a good chance, though. We just need to mobilize you and begin a naval invasion on Bessarabia. Also, don't be on offense. That would be bad. Be on defense for when you land. Okay. Now we occupy our war goal, so it's just a matter of time. Getting official nationality while being a multicultural nation is a little bit weird. They're just to keep continuously attacking us and continuously losing. We could just take Bessarabia immediately, but since this war is so easy, let's just go for the full enforce. After trying various governments, we found that this government will let us get Austria as a subject. We just need to add an extra enlistment efforts into Bosnia and then max out the conscripts again. We should have just enough to get them to accept us as a subject or as an overlord. That's going to be pretty nice. Now we can peace out with the Russians and focus all of our troops on taking out the Austrian revolt, as well as soon enough we will be able to invade Slovenia once our relations with them goes below 20. All of our troops are on the front, so we should be able to push very fast through this little Austrian revolt. Gonna quickly conquer Slovenia, because they've got some great states that are now ours. You know, we need them. The Austrian Civil War is nearly over, and the Slovenia War is nearly begun. Slovenia War has now begun, so we should be able to beat the Slovenia really fast, right? They're a pretty weak country. Now, Istria is gonna get taken. Yep, there we go. We now full own this country. Oh, Prussia just North German feted from the revolution in Holstein, I think. That's really dumb. Time to get Hungary to become a puppet. So to do that, we're going to release Transylvania as a subject and trade them Banat. Now we're going to try to grant states here to Hungary till they become a puppet. Surely we have enough states to grant them that they'll eventually go below 25 liberty desire and become a puppet. It'll just take a bunch of state granting, which we have the states to grant though, especially since we gave some to a subject, which lets us grant our homelands. Northern Transylvania. Yep, they're at 0 liberty desire now. So they're now a puppet. Now we're going to grant their states to Bohemia real quick to make Bohemia into a puppet. We just take a couple of states here. Yep, a couple more states. And then Bohemia too will be a mere puppet. And, you know, for good measure, we can make Austria into a puppet too. And let's reduce Austria's autonomy. Now we're going to give back these states that we gave Austria to our subjects. Or actually, let's just not do that. For cleaner borders, let's just form Danubian state here, and then Austria will get to keep their normal lands. Actually, except let's give Galicia to Bohemia, because that'll look nicer, I think. Do this, and a Danubian state has been formed. Well, with the formation of the Danubian state, that is the end of the video.